Hello. Welcome back to your podcast. I'm your host, Red Perez, and this is The Red Death 1301. So today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going over a very special political concept. We're going to be going over the idea of civic engagement. So now, you might ask, what is civic engagement, Red? Well, that's what we're going to be going over. Today, we're going to be reviewing the history and meaning of civic engagement, the important role it plays in a democratic society, and a famous example. And by doing that, we're going to be interviewing our favorite host, Anti-Red. Get it? Because anti-red, like anti-conservative, like liberal. You get the idea. So, Anti-Red is going to be going through these ideas one at a time, and we're going to be dissecting these examples and really explore the meaning and how it impacts America, and not just America, but every single country in the world that has a platform where people can speak upon. So with that being said, let's get started. So civic engagement is the practice of people trying to improve the quality of life by getting involved in politics at both the local, federal, and state level. So whether it's council meetings or protests or speeches, any way to communicate with the public and making sure that the administration is carrying out your ideas really is civic engagement. Okay, the idea has progressively evolved throughout the years and stems from our America trying to defect from Britain in 1776. And what do you mean, Red? We weren't even in America back then. How is that even possible? It's possible because that, my friends, that lack of representation was the root of civic engagement itself. At the time, our nation's rights were not being properly recognized by Britain. Britain was almost 1,000 miles away. So how could such a major national sovereign's administration completely ignore the rights of a people that live that far away? They found a way. They imposed taxes on us. And we felt like we didn't have a council that could properly represent our stake in this. So after many attempts at trying to communicate our feelings, we went to war, and we won, and we defected. And along the way, we also made a couple governments because we really needed to find our footing. However, that's where it all starts. Once we established our government, we established all our amendments, all our rights that allow us to operate as American citizens the way we want. We have the freedoms of speech, press. We're allowed to speak our mind on any matter, even hate. It's a double-edged sword. However, this would also give us the platform to get involved in our very own nation's politics, so that we would never feel unrepresented the way we did all those years ago. So now that you have the history of civic engagement, I'm going to ask my friend Anti-Red to explain the meaning. Take it away, Anti-Red. Thank you, regular Red, or Red. I don't know what to call you, but I'm going to take you up on the offer and explain how civic engagement operates in a democratic society. Civic engagement itself is open for all people who feel like they can improve the quality of life or want to feel represented in a certain way. It lets them exercise that option. It lets them get out there and get involved with their administration and let them know we are not happy with the way things are going. We want things to change. We need change. We know you offer the ability for us to do so. Let us stand on this podium. Let us stand on this super tiny box to make me look taller, and let me feel represented so I know that our ideas are being heard out. What this does, it shapes the state of our country even. Our opinions, our views, our values. We shape the legislator that gives us and grants us our rights, that grants us our freedoms to operate in so many different things, even through religion, through work, through personal practices even. So obviously you want to separate some personal value in government, but the fact is they grant us the very rights to exercise our way to fight for our personal values, if that's the way you want to put it. So the way civic engagement operates within a democratic society It gives people, any type of person, the right to feel represented, the right to exercise their voice and let the government know this isn't okay. I want things to change. Or this is getting better, but we can do more. So, you can ask, how does the civic engagement negatively affect America? Well, the truth is there's going to be a double-edged sword to everything, like I mentioned earlier. There's certain things that you really have to succumb to in a state of America where you have the freedom to virtually say anything. However, I truly believe that the benefits of civic engagement outweigh the downsides. So, any person with a flawed emotional perspective on America can say hurtful, awful things. But it gives the people, the right-minded people who look at their city and say things need to be changed, things need to be fixed. It gives them the opportunity to rise up and really commit to change. Really tell the government, I know that I want to do what's right for my people. I know that what I want to do is right in my heart. It gives them the platform to really say, I want to trust my gut because I know it's for the benefit of American citizens. And not just American citizens, but foreign citizens, countries that suffer from over-militarization, from very strict regimes, from war, from poverty. America, we have it easy. We have a platform that lets us exercise this right. Other people, they have to go through extreme measures to let their voice be heard. So, with that being said, what is a famous example of civic engagement? If we have a proper platform to use, whether it's a meeting or a speech or any type of activism, what is a great example of civic engagement? Now, folks, if you tuned in just in time, you heard our intro to the podcast. Now, usually I offer a prize for whoever guesses the song, but obviously I can't do that in this time because we have a very important segment. So I'm going to get this out of the way. We played Everything's Gonna Be Alright by famed musician Bob Marley. Now, what do y'all want to know about Bob Marley? Bob Marley was a very unique reggae artist that operated from the 60s all the way to the early 80s. He loved to speak of values such as love, peace, prosperity. These are values he wanted to be spoken out, values that he wanted to be communicated among people. He always hoped to unite people with his music. So, it comes as a shock to many when, after an assassination attempt on him and his family, he decided to hold a major peace concert in the very same region where he almost lost his life. In 1978, Bob Marley was the headliner at the One Love concert in Jamaica. At the time, his family got caught in the crossfire of these warring political factions. You can call them political factions, but what they were really was gangsters who had power and manipulated the power to mold the country into a state of war and hurting their very own people in the process. Bob Marley would headline the show and quite literally shock the establishment of Jamaican government. And you can think, how is this civic engagement? How do you know they're really listening if you're just playing a couple songs at a country torn apart by war and poverty? Well, it's what he did at the end of the concert that really shows you why his platform was so extensively effective. He brought the generals of these two warring factions that had even spent the night together in jail after inciting such violence. He brought them up stage and he held their hands together. And he made a whole ton of people, he influenced a whole ton of people to realize that this war in their very own country, this civil war that was happening right in front of their eyes, wasn't right for them. That unity could be found in some way or shape or form. And if it can't be legislated, it can be found through music, through personal practice, through identifying your very own rights within government. This would lead to a whole bunch of people being influenced by Bob Marley's movement, by his words, by his actions, recognizing that they too can make a change in the government and how they operate. Tensions would subside, they wouldn't completely disappear, but there was definitely a residual effect of that concert that shaped the way that country operates. So, Bob Marley, what you want to know about him is he's not only one of the greatest musical artists of all time, but he shaped a generation of people who weren't properly represented by the government that oversaw them. So, folks, that's it today for civic engagement. I hope you all appreciated the segment. Thank you, Auntie Red, for coming in again. I'm gonna get coffee with him later, maybe, or I don't know, whatever you want to call it, a civil agreement or disagreement, since we're so opposite to each other. Thank you, folks. Have a wonderful day. God bless. And I hope that you were civilly engaged in this conversation. Thank you. Get it? I thought it was funny. I don't know how you feel about it, but I thought it was pretty cool. That's it, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Red Death 1301. I hope you have a wonderful day, and God bless.